Today I'm fishing on my own section of water. This is the water I guide on, the River Tees. To give you an example of the quality of the fishing, it's a tricky day and I'm just using that duo there. I'll show you the rig. Big trout, came from nowhere, back to back, beautiful big trout. We'll get this in as quickly as possible, show you the rig. Hopefully catch some more fish. I'll show you the standard of fish we can catch in this beautiful section of river. My home section, this is where I do my guiding, the exclusive snowball section. First, we'll have a look at this cracking brown trout. Superb condition fish. There we go. Let's have a look at this fish. Played out very hard on the 389. This is the VPS Light, which is still Sage's version of my favourite rod, the 389. And we're going to use a variety of techniques today. That was on the duo there. I was over that far side and I let that fish, and the only way I could get a drag-free drift there was to wade into the fast water at the apex of the pool and let the fly drift downstream on the fish. And by using the duo, I'm using an LK Caddis, Altros LK Caddis pattern, and by using that beautiful big dry fly like that, it's a nice attractor. There's nothing rising today at all. It's very tricky, but still, I'll just be careful with the line here. We're able to catch these very beautiful, stunning wild brown trout. Fantastic quality fish. Beautiful, beautiful trout. I'm going to release him. Off he goes. And I'll just explain the rig now and explain the purpose of the day. I'm here on the tees with my wife Nellie, who's agreed to come out in these miserable conditions, and the whole idea was to show you some of the water I guide on and the quality of the fish. And I've just started here 2 minutes ago and I'm using an LK Caddis, Altros LK Caddis, fantastic pattern this, developed in the US. And on the dropper, that's tied to a very short dropper in about 2 feet of depth. I've got an on-stream guide, pheasant tail nymph. This is what I call a hotspot pheasant tail nymph. There's a glint of red in there, it's very attractive to fish. And on days like this, when there's nothing rising anywhere, an attractor dry in pocket water like this will pull fish up. It's a tremendous start. There's nothing rising at all. It's a completely dead day, no hatch. And in water like this, which isn't too deep, I'm going for the best of both worlds. But what I will also be using and demonstrating today is a streamer and some nymphing techniques. So I've started on the duo with a fish, so let's carry on. nice big trout, grayling there on dry fly. Started on the duo in the pool below, as you saw, had that nice big trout. And I saw a nice big fish rising here. Very stealthily, got in position. I just lost him, but there's one more rising, so I've got another chance, so I'll carry on. Well, as you just saw there, I was a bit unfortunate with that fish at long range. It's typical on days like this, there isn't really a rise, and fish like that are just picking at very small things, and the water here is very slow moving, so the presentation has to be very good for fish to take in this type of water. So I'm using relatively long tippet with the furled leader. The entire leader length's about between 15 and 18 feet, and I'm using a tiny fly, size 17 F terrestrial, because there's no specific hatch or anything on. Fish are really just picking at what's available, if there's anything available. I saw that fish rising. It was a long cast across the river, and I managed to get a good cover on him and got him to take the fly. He was a very good grayling, around about 2 pound in weight, but it came off. I could wait maybe for another half an hour for another fish to rise and try and catch another one, but that's not what today's about. I want you to see some of the river that we fish on, some of the beautiful section of the middle tees. This is the water I guide on, and so we're going to head up to some faster water just up ahead in this pool and do a little bit of nymphing. Grayling came, flowed so fast, moved into the faster water, spotted the grayling rising on dries. And before we got the nymphing gear out, have a go at these grayling on the dry fly. The trick with grayling is to get the fly drag free, and once you get it drag free, relatively simple. Just have a look at this pretty fish. Get it straight back. I've changed the fly to pale watery. I've changed the outfit. I'm back onto my trusty old Sage 389 light line and a pure dry fly outfit. After losing that nice fish in the tail, moving towards the faster water to try some nymphing, and we saw 1 or 2 fish rise, and after 4 or 5 covers where the fish did a good job of ignoring the fly, he succumbed. And this is the trick with grayling, is to keep trying, because once you get the fly drag free, he will take. Grayling tend to be quite forgiving. They are beautiful fish, and I fish on this stretch throughout the winter for these grayling, and as you'll see, this fish is absolutely pristine, unmarked, probably uncaught. Beautiful fish. Oh, and there he goes, nice and fit, strong for another day. Another grayling on the same place. The thing about grayling is where there's one, there's more. Now this grayling's been playing a game with me as he fused the fly for the last 2 or 3 minutes. This time I got the fly perfect on the fish and he took it. And that's the trick with grayling. the fly must be drag free. When you get these flies drag free, you get these beautiful stunning fish. Again, pristine fish, absolutely stunning. Shows you the quality of fish on this water is absolutely tremendous. Just have a nice close look at him for the camera. Get him back. And that fish was playing a game with me 2 or 3 times. He looked at the fly and refused it. And the reason he refused it was slight drag, what we call micro drag. Something registered in the fish's brain that the fly wasn't quite behaving correctly and it ignored it. But on that cover I got the drag perfect. It's half a matter of luck rather than chance. That's the way it sometimes is in fly fishing. Now the hook's come out in its mouth, so have a look at this pretty little fish and get him straight back. Beautiful, beautiful grayling. Stunning fish. Absolutely stunning. And they are bars of soap, so always handle them with care. They will wriggle and squeeze, so don't hold them tight. And we'll let him go back. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful autumnal colours. Stunning fish, pristine. And back for another day. So that's the second one on the dries in a few minutes. And now I'm going to have a go in the faster water with the nymphs. And I changed the dry fly to a pale watery. It's a high wing CDC fly and it's available on the website. And this fly is very good for grayling. It's a very good trigger fly. The only slight problem with it is its tendency to drag. If you're relatively inexperienced and you fish for grayling, flies like clink hammers are very useful because they anchor in the surface film with the hackle. That's enough for the dry fly. I'm going to see if there's anything interesting in this nice little fast water ahead of us on the nymph, and I'll explain the nymph rig right now. Well, I'm hoping you're getting a good idea of the middle tees and the water I guide on. It's beautiful water. Thus far it's been a difficult day, it's tough, there's nothing rising, no hatch, fishing's like that, but thus far we've had a nice trout on the duo. I lost a very nice grayling in the tail, and I've just had a couple of grayling just out of the run of this pool, a little, maybe 10-15 metres further down, and now I'm in the head of the run and I'm going to do some nymphing. So it's a change of tactics again, and I'm using a 10-foot 2-3 weight rod. These are bespoke rods specifically designed for this, what's known as European style nymphing techniques. Various nymphing techniques called Czech nymphing, Polish nymphing, French nymphing. They all have subtle differences, but on modern types of nymphing we don't use fly line. So this is a long 44 feet leader, an on-string guide leader, and I use an inline indicator. I've tried all types of indicators, but these inline indicators, in my opinion, are superior to other types of indicator on the market. The spring-type indicators tend to pull straight with time. This indicator does the job perfectly. I can see it in almost all light conditions, which is fairly excellent because light conditions are very variable on rivers, and I can see this in most conditions. And I'm looking for that little jab that indicates that a fish has taken the nymph. And of course this is contact nymphing, so I'm in contact with these nymphs. There's no slack, I'm not casting downstream, letting the nymphs pull down. I'm staying in contact with them. Most of it's upstream fishing, and I'm using weighted flies. These flies are weighted with tungsten beads. Tungsten's a very dense material and it's designed to take the flies down. And I'm using a 3-fly rig. So I'm using a polyphytus on the point, which is 3mm, size 12. Available at onstringguide.com, by the way. And this is a fly I'll be introducing very soon at onstringguide.com. It's a fly that's caught me a lot of fish over the years, It's a superb fly. It's called a flashback caddis, and that flashback is very attractive to both trout and grayling. They find it very, very appealing. And finally, another on-stream guide favourite, a fly that's caught many fish, and I know many of you have told me of the effectiveness of this particular fly, the black magic. Lots of movement in that fly and a good dark profile. It's a superb pattern. It's caught me many trout and grayling. So this is a free fly rig that I'm using in the water. Now this water's different from the water we've covered so far in that it has two features essential for nymphing. That is depth and pace. These two features are essential. It's no use doing these nymphing techniques in the tail where I hooked that grayling earlier. It's too slow there. I can't get close enough to the fish. You need this combination of depth and pace. And if you've got added features like rocks which cause added current seams, so much the better. I'm fairly confident of pulling out a fish, so I'll get straight in right now. There we go, there's the fish. Not too long away. Good fish. Not sure what it is yet, whether it's a trout or a grayling. Almost instant results on the nymphs there. Looks like a big grayling and it's wrapped round. Occasionally do this on multi-nymph rigs. There we go, it's come straight now. Nice big grayling. And I'll be fishing throughout the coming months for grayling into the winter. If you're interested in catching these beautiful grayling, then this is a nice fish. Nice big fish. Pull well, decent sized grayling, and it took the flashback. There we go, have a look at this pretty fish, barbus hooks of course. It took that flashback nymph that I just showed you. This is a nice big grayling, the sort of grayling we get on these nymphing techniques. Beautiful sized grayling, much larger than the ones that were rising further down the pool on dry flies. By going deep, and as I say, they are bars of soap, so handle them with care. Beautiful, stunning fish. Whoops, and there he goes. No waiting to say goodbye. A small trout there, lively trout in the fast water, always enjoyable sport. And again, that took that flashback caddis. Nice little wild trout. So that was the result of 10 minutes nymphing, a nice grayling and a trout, and I could spend much longer and cover the water more thoroughly, but I want to move on to show you some other bits of water and to try more techniques.